Right, so today I'm going to be replying to some of the comments from randoms that I got on my UHD player video, which the algorithm has picked up, and I don't know why it's still getting views as I speak, but at present it's like 1800 views, 62 likes, and way too many comments, and that's just like not normal for my channel. And I can't be bothered to write text comments to you all, so we're gonna sit here and make a video out of it. Now, I've already replied to the usual suspects on my channel. If I recognized you, I replied in text. So, starting from the bottom, we have Mad Simple, who has very quickly come to dominate my channel, but you're funny, so you're allowed. The first comment, this is chronologically. And then we've got Darker Waters. Eventually, you're going to be the Darkest Waters. But anyway, we had a little bit of a back and forth. And then Paper Vampire, one of the OGs. And also, I don't know how to pronounce either Mastachina or Mastacina or I recognize your name. I know you've been around. But then we get on to the randoms who started popping up, very much surprising me. I don't know why people are watching this video because, like, in the title, it says, yes, I'm unboxing this, but I'm super distracted. And people are watching anyway, and they see me sitting on the floor with this thing, and, like, I'm clearly not a professional, so like, what is my opinion worth? I don't know. And then it's a complete shit show after that. Anyway, so we get our first, like, random comment. Now, to this person, I think you should change your handle because I didn't even see your comment in YouTube Studio. Like, you should not make this your handle. Now, we can go across and see this is what their actual name is, Dilithium Crystals. That's cool. That's a cool one. Change your thing to @dilithium crystals. Now, the reason I say to do that is I think that YouTube's censorship bot picked up your handle and decided to censor you. So I didn't see you, like, you know, it does this thing where it shows the comments that I haven't replied to, and yours didn't come up. But then when I cancelled that filter, then it finally came up. So if you have been trying to comment to other creators and they haven't replied to you, maybe that's the problem. Like, yes, a lot of them, the big creators, are too busy to reply. But yeah, I think your comments are just being hidden anyway. So I actually stopped getting 4K players because of all the issues I was having with them. No matter if I play DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K discs, they always froze, skipped. It was ridiculous. It was random too. It was brand new movies also. I just started getting back into physical media, so all these discs were brand new. I've had 5 different 4K players, and every one of them has had the same issues, so I really believe it's a flaw in 4K players. Even got a $1,000 UB9000 top of the line, and still have the same issues. And sometimes when I take a disc and put another disc in, it won't play it, have to shut down and then turn it back on, and then it'll be fine. Okay. So this is something that I came across when I was researching the players, and it's why I went for Panasonic rather than Sony, because of the options available to me, it was basically between those two. Maybe if you're overseas, you have more options, or maybe you're willing to go for shady options. But for me, it was either Panasonic or Sony. Now, Sony, I would normally go for, because they're the ones who made the whole Blu-ray standard. You'd think they'd have their shit together. But what I found online is, yeah, their players do have a freezing issue. Whereas the Panasonic, I mean, I only had a choice of basically 2 Panasonics from a retailer I trust. And yeah, the one that I picked seems to be the most reliable one. I don't know what, like, have you tried my model? I don't know. But yeah, it's supposed to be the most reliable one. But yeah, Sony, I don't understand why they would make ones that skip. And they must know it's an issue because all of these players, they're quite old. Like, they haven't done an update in the technology for a long time, and obviously that's because of streaming. Why put all this, you know, money into development of a product that hardly anyone is using? Now, hopefully the revival of physical media will bring back you know, some interest in developing decent players, but until then, we've kind of got very old models to choose from, and you kind of just have to deal with it. I don't know that it's necessarily a problem with the 4K technology, but I think it is corporate laziness because they just think we're all going to stream. Why bother making a decent 4K player? So that's what I think is going on there. And I don't know, like, I can't... Have you tried the one that I'm using? I can't comment on because I haven't. This is my first 4K player. Like I've had different Blu-rays and had the one in my old Dell. But yeah, so there is that problem where the companies just can't be bothered to make. It's like it took ages for anyone to update webcam technology because no one was using it, and then COVID comes along, everyone's zooming, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe we should upgrade some. But if you can still buy webcams that have been around for like 5 years, maybe longer. It's just like, the tech world, it's gotten so lazy, and it's been lazy for a long time, and then they focus on gimmicks, and then they're into like what makes them the most money, which is all this advertising and shitification, and it's just like the tech world sucks. But if you want to escape streaming, and I mean I've got my huge DVD collection, and now I'm starting to add Blu-rays. If you want to play these things, you need to get a player. Because we can't trust streaming services. They delete stuff all the time, and like you don't own anything. I would like to own a disc, something that I can put on my shelf, even if after however many years finally the DVD stops working, because they do degrade eventually. Even if that happens, at least I have the physical collection, and the memory, like it's kind of a symbol of it. So there's a bit of that for me as well. But also another thing I should mention is all the discs were brand new. If they weren't just printed, then they're kind of not exactly brand new, because they could have been sitting on a shelf in a warehouse for a long time, and I think I've also heard of some issues with that. But there are actual Blu-ray channels who will talk about this stuff. I don't know why you would tell me when I'm clearly a random who can't even do a video properly. And like, I can't believe so many people subscribed from that video. I don't understand it. Like, let me see if I can get you some numbers. How many people have subscribed from that? 19 people subscribed to me because of that. I don't get you people. I don't know why anyone watches me, but people who subscribe for that video, who probably didn't watch my channel trailer, probably didn't look at my channel page and see the absolute chaos that I am. You guys are nuts. Anyway, so that's my rant about that one. That took a lot longer than I was expecting, but hey. Next one. Fairy Tale Purity Analyzer. Let's just quick. Yeah, that's how you should do a name, a handle and a name. Good job. So, you're using a computer monitor to watch the films. It's even more important than to set the HDMI range either full or limited. Either one or the other will give better picture in blacks. Okay, so I need more information, and I can't be bothered to go look it up. I'm using a computer monitor, yes, but it's an IPS monitor. There are a whole bunch of different kinds of monitors that have different capabilities. It is a 4K monitor. So I think IPS has better color than some of them, although not necessarily the best contrast. I can't remember. It's been a while. But the thing is, with better picture and blacks, like I'm watching in a dark room, so I didn't, I watched Primal Fear last night. Oh god, time moves so slowly for me, I don't remember. But I did watch it, and I had no issues. Now, it's not really the darkest film, so maybe I need it. But I've also been watching my old DVDs on my old computer and the new computer, and I haven't had any issues. I haven't had to play with any settings. But keep in mind, I wear glasses. I cannot see that far without glasses. And these glasses, my at-home glasses, are not full strength, and they have little scratches on them, and I get a little bit of light glare on the glasses themselves. So needless to say, I am not having the best viewing experience already. And so if there are tiny flaws, I don't care. It's like when I did my original Alienware video, and people are like, why aren't you self-building, and why didn't you get this and that, and I just want something that works. I don't care about the minute details. So maybe that comment is helpful to someone. So, cool, yeah, leave it there. That's great. But for me, if you're talking to me, because I don't know if you're just commenting or if you're actually trying to get my attention. But I think you're trying to get my attention. I think it's more useful to the random passers-by to look at your comment. I cannot be bothered to muck around with it because I'm happy with how it is. So I'm not going to take your advice unless I find a problem. So, yeah. Better picture. I can barely see. Like, that's one of the reasons I stuck to DVD stubbornly for years, even though Blu-ray and 4K have been around forever. It's because I can't see. That slight extra. I mean, I can see the increased resolution, especially on a fucking 4K monitor. Although my computers have always upscaled it as best they can, but it doesn't give me that much benefit. Just because I am a little bit blind. Like, I'm not. I only use my full strength glasses when I'm driving. I don't wear them around the house because it just feels a bit like whoa. So cool. Thanks for the tip. I'm not gonna follow it. All right, moving on. Who have we got? Kizj. Let's see what your name is meant to be. CJ Sheets. Okay. At least it's like kind of a related name, I guess. My DP. Oh, so it's the same model. UB820 should arrive tomorrow. Not sure why I waited so long to get a player, as I have a pretty decent UHD movie collection. Thanks to everyone keeping physical media alive. Yes! More people come back to physical media. I kind of never left. I've always been a fan of the DVDs. It's just like my parents got streaming services, and so, if it's there, occasionally I tried to, but like, with Moon Knight, Disney didn't work nicely on my computer. Within the old computer, it was always stuttering a bit. Like, not stuttering, it's just like the picture, I could see the picture sort of, it was horrible, so I had to go and watch it on the TV, and I don't know why that is. So there's that, like, but so I've tried that, but if I can't watch it on my computer, like, I keep to myself a lot, and, my parents hog all the TVs, so, if I can't watch it on my computer, I'm not going to pay for Disney, am I? Although, I think they got rid of Disney, actually. I don't even know what streaming services my parents have, because they've jumped around a bit. But there was a time when I was watching, like, Netflix had Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm very slow watching. I don't binge anymore. I haven't been able to binge watch in a long time. I'm too distracted. And also it feels unproductive. Anyway, never mind. I've been, addicted to the internet in different ways and wasted time anyway. But I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And the first season, I was up to somewhere in the first season, and then I, very slowly going through it. And then they deleted everything but the third season. And I'm like, the third season is like the worst one. I'm talking original Yu-Gi-Oh!, not whatever came after him. Yeah, that's no good. I can't, like, how are you supposed to... So, people, get physical media. And yes, if you already have a decent UHD movie collection, you should have a player. And, as far as I could research, out of the ones that I have access to, that I trust, this seems to be the best one and the best value for money. Also, I got it on sale. So the next comment is kind of relevant to that. Knuckles. Okay, yeah, you didn't even bother with the channel name. That's fine, because I know a lot of people just watch. They don't actually, make videos. Why did you buy a high-end $450 US 4K Blu-ray player when there are several HD 2K Blu-ray players you can buy for around $50 US? First of all, I'm Australian. I don't understand your US money. We have kangaroo money here. But yeah, I got it during the Black Friday sales, so it was pretty well discounted. And like, I'm confused by this comment because 4K Blu-ray versus HD 2K. 2K is not the same resolution. Does that play UHDs? I don't know. I don't want to take the risk. I just want to buy the 4K thing because I bought the 4K discs, so that's why I need to get a 4K player. Unless this is a typo. I mean, I know 2K is a thing, but what's your logic here? And like, a player for $50, I mean, that's probably like kind of what this is. This is the piece of crap. I'm destroying everything. This is the piece of crap that Dell gave me after they broke my computer. And it's only a DVD player because they don't sell Blu-ray players. They couldn't properly replace that. But like, that's probably $50 US, and it's a piece of shit. I connect it to my computer and it makes this horrible noise. That's why I have to weigh it down with this book about gay werewolves. Because otherwise it goes bzzz, and like on my I have to put it awkwardly because the cable's not long enough. I know I could probably get another cable, but I think it's also like micro USB. It's not even USB-C, piece of shit. But see, like, Dell can't even be bothered to develop Blu-ray anymore. And never mind standalone players. Sorry, this guy is sort of getting in the way. Yeah, So, yeah, I could get a $50 one, but is it going to be crap? And like I said, the Sony ones, they're the ones that stutter. And the Sony one, the Sony option that I had was cheaper. But if it's garbage, why would I buy it? And, this is another thing, like when I did the original Alienware, they're like, why didn't you self-build? It's cheaper and blah, blah, blah. Because I just want something that works. I don't want to stuff around. I don't want to spend ages researching as well. I just want like the basics. Some of you have the time and concentration and obsessiveness to sit there and go through all your little options and figure out. And I just want to get on with my life. I want to watch the thing and I want to move on. And yeah, it was a sale, and also Black Friday is after my, the anniversary of my soul dog passing away, so it's when I'm inclined to spend a bunch of money as a coping mechanism. It may not be healthy, but getting a good deal feels good. So yeah, I am half Asian, and I've got girl math going on. So anyway, yeah. So the other thing is you often get what you pay for. Like, I know there are some things that are overpriced, but if you always try and get the cheapest shit, it's the cheapest shit. And this is like a problem with, like some products out there. There's Panadol and like generic Panadol and no, maybe it's more the generic Nurofen that's the problem. I think like when I was living with my ex, I used to get generic Nurofen and I couldn't swallow that stuff. Like the proper branded Nurofen has that nice shell of sugar around it, and I used to have a lot of trouble swallowing pills, so that helped. And I'm still not the best at it, but that helped. And it's also just nicer, and it doesn't taste gross when you put it in your mouth before you've swallowed it. So yeah, yes, generic things are great. And for like the pill, I'm on the generic version because it's all made by the same company anyway. I think. I don't know. I heard that. I haven't actually checked. Don't take my word for it. But so there are some applications where generics are just fine, but then there are other things where it's actually worse. And like with all the sensory therapy and skincare things and, perfumey things, like you can get cheaper versions, but you're often compromising on something. Like whether the perfume lasts as long, whether the skincare product has the nice smell that makes it feel good. I mean, if you were just trying to get a result and they have the same active ingredients and the same concentrations, and same effectiveness, cool. But if you're there for a bit of sensory therapy and you need that extra luxury to feel good, that's the thing. Like, I've been buying the cheapest shampoos and conditioners and body washes for ages, and I hate showering, and that was not helping. But now I buy the nicest stuff that actually smells good and feels good, and then have this whole ritual when I get out of the shower. And I'm starting to really not hate showers, and it's actually starting to be a bit more fun. So you get what you pay for. And there are little extras that come with putting a few extra bucks in it. So like your $50 US piece of shit, it may be missing a bunch of quality of life things. And, the person previously who was telling me to change settings, can you change the settings on your shitty piece of, I don't know, I can't be bothered to fuck around with it. And that's another thing is like when you pay for things cheap, sometimes you can do the same stuff, but it takes more fucking around. And I just can't be bothered. I was gonna say I've got things to do. I'm unemployed, I'm mentally ill, so like kind of not really. Like I'm just, my whole thing in life is just managing to stay alive. That's my task, is to just stay alive, and whatever else I do is bonus. But, like I do have other things that I want to do instead of sitting around on the internet researching the shit out of every possible player I could get and then trying to decide what's the best value from. I can't be bothered. I just want to buy the thing and move on. Okay, moving on. Retro Force. Okay, Retro Force. See, this is how you do. If your handle is taken, you just put some numbers on the end. Great. You should buy a soundbar instead of using your TV speakers. It'll sound better and louder than your TV. First of all, I'm not doing this on a TV. I don't know like, yes, it's a large screen, it's 4K, but it's not a TV, it's a computer monitor, and I'm not using TV speakers. This monitor, as far as I know, doesn't even have its own sound, or if it does, I haven't used it since I got it. I have computer speakers with a subwoofer, as you've seen, and I don't know, you probably didn't see a huge amount of my desk because I was trying not to show too much, although there's not actually anything that I would have had to blur out on this, but like, I don't have space for a sound bar. This is my workspace, my distraction space. This is my computer. Like, I've got, Gay Werewolves book here. I've got like very dusty gaming controller and, some nuts that I got from a market that I haven't opened yet. Yum. I've got my tea. I've got a few of my like gothic, because I do gothic stuff sometimes, my spiked collars and dog style collar. I've just like, this is absolute chaos. The mug that I'm not going to release because I didn't think the quality was good enough. There's just like, and then there's all kinds of paper and just chaos. And then up here there's even more chaos. There's like little bunny thing. There's little notepads, there's my glasses cleaning things, there's this little thing that my friend, this little bug, she got me, there's coins, there's a, Aussie $2 coin, there's like lip balm, there's, hand creams, there's just all kinds of chaos. Where am I gonna put a sound bar? I know they're quite slim these days, but there's just no space. And under my screen is where I have my sound thing, and I can't be bothered to unplug. There's no fucking space. So pay a little bit of attention. I'm sure you can tell I'm a chaotic person. Like the title of the video said I'm distracted AF, as in distracted as fuck. And you think I'm gonna have space for a soundbar? Come on. Okay, next, Trucker Big John. Have you tried just putting the sub on its side and then running that first shelf with the 4K player? Look, I already solved the problem, so it's fine. But also with subs, so I did study audio engineering. I didn't finish that degree. I finished the music production degree. Music production and composition degree is the one that I did, but then I did a bit of extra study in audio, and like the way the sub works, if you look at the sub, if you turn it over, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to see this, but like it's a kind of a compact thing, right? And so it has it has the port in the front, but then it also has like, where's the speaker? Did you see the speaker cone? It's actually on the underside. And so if I turn the sub on the side, like, yes, subs are not exactly like bass frequencies, are not heaps directional, but it would be sending the sound over that way, or whichever way I turn it, instead of just sending it down to the ground, where it's not going to cause as much chaos, presumably. I don't know, it's been a while since I studied it, but my point is the speaker cone is on the underside, so if I turn it on its side, it's not really, like, it's not how it's designed to operate, it's not going in the direction that's designed to operate, and I also don't know for sure, like, what the mechanics are and whether turning it on its side could damage the way that operates, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to fuck around with that. My eyesight is shit, but my hearing is not too bad, so I don't want to fuck around with, changing the way the things sound, just so that I can put the thing on the and, like, if I did that and put the 4K player, flat like I was showing you, then that's kind of a waste of space. It makes more sense to have some shelving under there and then put it on top, because I don't want to put too many things on the 4K player. I realized, like, towards the back, unless I unplug it, it does generate a bit of heat, like, constantly by the sounds of things. So even when it's turned off, there's just the mildest amount of heat, so I don't want to put anything on that side. On the disc side, it's not so bad, and so that's where I put my remote control and whatever disc I've just been watching, like the case. But yeah, I don't really want to put anything on top of it, so I should put things under it, and then it raises it, and then I can keep my sub where it is, where I like it, where I'm used to the sound coming from, because also when I'm doing mixing, I mix in the studio with, like, my proper monitors, but even though I finally got a sub to go with my studio monitors, and when I say monitors, I mean speakers, it's just we call them monitors in audio. I finally got a sub to go with the monitors, the proper monitors, but it still hasn't, I still don't really get a clear picture of what it sounds like, I need to use these speakers in this configuration as a reference, because this is the situation that I usually listen to music in. So if I want to compare my mixes to other songs that I like, I have to bring them in here to this configuration, and I'm used to this. And I don't want to fuck with that because it'll make mixing a lot harder, especially, like, you know, I'm not confident mixing myself. Like I said, I didn't finish the audio degree. I did go and do an internship at a studio where they specialize in heavy music, but watching the way they work, I just realized that is not the life for me. I am not that obsessed with every minute detail of whatever, and they would make tweaks and be like, oh, that sounds so much better, and I'm like, I don't know what you just changed unless it's really obvious. And like, that's me with everything. Like, with, if you get a haircut, it better be dramatic or I'm not gonna fucking notice. And that's probably why for most of my life I've done extreme hair changes. Like, go and have a look on my Instagram, or even just like scroll through some of my video thumbnails. My hair has changed a lot, because if I don't do a dramatic change, did I even get a haircut? Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Is there any more? Oh, there is something. We've got Steve. Is that your... Yes, Steve. So, nice player. I've had mine for a few years now and finally realized to go easy and treat her with a bit of respect, otherwise can get a bit glitchy. Maybe you'll get an amp and speakers next. Take care. So again, I've got computer speakers. Like, the way this is set up, the monitor, it has its own speaker output, and so that goes to my computer speakers, rather than the speakers being connected directly to the computer, which means when I'm using the UHD player, as long as I just do the HDMI cable to the monitor, it'll still send the sound to the speakers, so I don't need to fuck around with speaker cables. But like an amp and speakers, okay, there are two types of speakers. There's passive speakers and active speakers, and these are active speakers. I mean, most consumer level speakers are active. You plug them into the power and they're fine. You don't need an extra amp. If you have passive speakers, which my dad had some a long time ago, you need an amp, otherwise they don't work. Amp is an amplifier. I don't have time for that shit. The monitors that I have in the studio, they're active monitors. They're based on some very famous passive monitors. I forget what they're called, but they had them at the studio, and you know, have to run them through an amp. And like, I don't have that much space to have all these extra bits of gear, and I don't care to that level of detail. I don't need the absolute best sound. I mean, these have pretty much the full range, but also I'm used to them. Like, technically, I'm pretty sure my studio monitors are better quality, and you can hear, like, you know, the things that you're mixing, you can hear, like, it's probably better for editing because you can hear more detail. Same with headphones, like, you know, you can hear more, because I have some studio headphones, but for, like, you know, the absolute best quality, the clearest sound isn't always the nicest to listen to, especially if there are any issues, but also I'm just used to this sound, and so it's a nice sound. I am happy with this sound. I do not need speakers, and again, I am not listening to sound through this monitor. I don't even know if this monitor even has its own sound. I don't know where you guys got that idea, because there's a few, like, you know, the sound bar guy, and now you're telling me about an amp and speakers, and like, why would I fuck around with an amp when I can just get active speakers and be done with it? And I've had these for years, that I really like them. Yeah, and they've got the full frequency range of human hearing. You don't need more than that, really, unless you want to, I don't know, terrorize your dog or something. Yeah, so I see no need to change that setup, and I'm quite happy with these small ones. They're Logitech something, I don't know, I got them a long time ago. Yeah. And as I said, you know, I like listening to music on these. I'm not used to the studio monitors. I'm happy with this. Is that it? Is there more? Oh god, there's more. Home theater man. Okay, so this is someone who actually is small, you know, do you have videos? You do have videos. There you go. So that's like someone who actually gives a shit about this stuff. That's someone you should be watching instead of me, probably, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Have you seen the rest of my channel? Watch my channel trailer if you haven't. Like, come on, guys. Anyway, but the channel trailer does give you an overview of the things that I do. If you get past the introduction, then it has a montage of things in my channel, and you get an idea of the absolute chaos that you've subscribed to. Hi, I own then the DPUB9000P1K. Oh, that might be the one that the $1,000 one that the other person was complaining about. And I absolutely love it. Hey, please make sure to turn disabled BD live under your network settings. You will thank me later. Wait, turn on or turn off? If some 4K Blu-ray movies don't play, then turn off that network settings. Okay, well, I haven't had any issues. I've literally only watched one disc. If I have an issue, maybe I'll come back to this and be like, oh, what was that thing that YouTuber said? But yeah, I'm not gonna fuck around with it until I have an issue. Like, why go and fuck around with settings? You could just break something. So I would rather leave it as is. And then when I have an issue, I will either come back to this comment or I will Google it, which is what I tend to do to try and solve my problems. But like, you know, maybe this will help someone who, you know, is looking for answers. That's like, you know, one of the things about comments is like, I think people tend to direct the comments to me. I know on big channels, people just leave an opinion and they don't expect the creator to read it, but on my tiny channel, I'm pretty sure you guys are trying to tell me these comments, but I think they're more useful to other people who might come by and see it, because unless I have a problem, I'm not gonna waste my time with that. Yeah, and we're done! We're done. Okay. So, there you go. We got a half-hour video out of it. That's, I don't know, is that your Happy New Year? I have so many other videos to do. I've got a few busy days ahead of social obligation. Oh gosh. Yeah, anyway, so I mean, thank you all the new people subscribing. I think you're crazy. In which case, you're probably in the right place, because I am crazy. I have a mental illness. It's all on my channel. But yeah, watch the channel trailer. It gives you an idea of like all the random shit that I do. I've even got like me having a breakdown on this channel. But yeah, no, a lot of it is dog videos lately, occasionally makeup stuff, mental health vlogs. I only do tech very occasionally, like when I have a reason to buy it. Then you guys all subscribe and I'm like, why are you here? I'm here to disappoint you. I've got music stuff as well though, because I am a musician and I'm an artist, and I mean, you know, I am chaos. I also do like heavy metal vocals, so I could be like, I am chaos kind of shit. Yeah, you guys don't know what you've subscribed to. And to the rest of my regular viewers, my cult especially. Amusing times. We'll see if they stick around, hey.